Gopi Janavallabha Givardhari Gopi Janavallabha Givardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Gopi Janavallabha Givardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Givardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Janavallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana 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 Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Astutar Shata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Astutar Shata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Govardhan Giridhari Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Sri Guru, Sri Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, Chapter 17. Chapter is entitled Pastimes of the Lord in His Youth. And today we are reading text number 54. Please repeat after me. Should be on the board at the Bali. Yeah. Eta Bali Gela Prabhu Karite Ganga Snan. Eta Bali Gela Prabhu Karite Ganga Snan. Se papi dukkha bhogena yaya parana. Se papi dukkha bhogena yaya parana. Eta bali gela prabhu karite ganga snan. Se papi dukkha bhogena yaya parana. Eta bali gela prabhu karite ganga snana. Se papi dukkha bhogena yaya parana. Eta bali gela prabhu karite ganga snana. Se papi dukkha bhogena yaya parana. Please chant. Eta Bali Gela Prabhu Korite Ganga Snana. Se papi dukkha bhogena yaya parana. Eta Bali Gela Prabhu Korite Ganga Snana. Se papi dukkha bhogena yaya parana. Eta Bali Gela Prabhu Korite Ganga Snana. Se papi dukkha bhogena yaya parana. Vaishnavis. Eta Bali Gela Prabhu Korite Ganga Snana. Se papi dukkha bhogena yaya parana. Eta Bali Ganga Prabhu Korite Ganga Snana. Se papi dukkha bhogena yaya parana. Eta Bali, saying this, Gela went away. Prabhu, the Lord, Karite, to take, Ganga Snana, a bath in the Ganges. Say that papi, sinful man, dukkha, pains, bhoge, suffers, na, not, yaya, go away, parana, the life. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charnarvinda, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. After saying this, the Lord left to take his bath in the Ganges, and that sinful man did not give up his life, but continued to suffer. Purport. It appears that an offender to a Vaishnava continues to suffer and does not give up his life. We have actually seen that a great Vaishnava aparadhi is continuously suffering so much that it is difficult for him to move, and yet he does not die. Eta Bali Gela Prabhu Korite Ganga Snan, Se Papi Dukkha Bhoge Nayaya Parana. Om Jnana Tirmandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadhati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So it is my great honor and pleasure to be here today in New Govardhana farm here in Australia. Thank you for having me. I feel very much blessed. And before I begin to speak, I seek the blessings of all the devotees present, that I can speak something for my own purification and something coming from Srila Prabhupada's teachings and the teachings of our beloved Acharyas. Thank you for your blessings. Hare Krishna. Jai Ho. So we're reading from Sri Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 17, text number 54, and the chapter is entitled Pastimes of the Lord in His Youth. And in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear the dangers of Vaishnava aparad. Aparad means to offend or to cause difficulty and distress to Vaishnavas. As Vaishnavas are very dear to Krishna, then Lord Krishna is pleased when his devotees are pleased. And if his devotees are offended or insulted, then Krishna is not pleased. One time Srila Prabhupada was describing the kantimala, these neck beads that we wear. And he said that this is like the dog collar, and it shows that we're Krishna's dogs. And we belong to Krishna. He's our master, and we're Krishna's dog. And there's a saying, love me, love my dog. Have you heard that? Yes. So we should love Krishna's devotees, and then Krishna will be pleased. But if you kick my dog, then I'm going to be very angry with you. So the same way, if we insult or offend or assault a Vaishnava, a devotee, then Krishna is very angry. And actually there are 5 categories of Vaishnava aparad, offenses against devotees. So if you kick my dog, I'm going to be angry. But what about if you kill my dog? I'd be very, very angry. So the most extreme case of Vaishnava aparad is when one actually kills a devotee. That's a very grievous, the most grievous offense. The next level is assault. If we physically assault a devotee and injure them on some level, that's the second level of little less grievous, but still very, very, all of these are grievous, dangerous. The next level after assault is physical assault, is if we verbally assault a Vaishnava, if we start shouting and yelling and insulting a Vaishnava, that's also an offense. And the next level after that is if we don't say anything, but we're angry at a Vaishnava. If we lose our cool internally and get angry at a Vaishnava, then that's also considered an offense. And the fifth level of offense, the most subtle, is when we see a devotee, but we're not happy. Right? If we're not happy to see a devotee, that's also considered an offense, although lesser than the other four. So we should try to avoid these 5 offenses. Because in this section of Caitanya Caritamrita, we're hearing about a Brahmana named Gopal Chapala. And Gopal Chapala, he's actually committing one or maybe more of these offenses, and he's getting in a very difficult situation. So let's just briefly recap this story and hear about what happened to Gopal Chapala and see what we can learn from his situation. Because an intelligent person learns by hearing, not that they actually have to go through the experience themselves. So this section of Caitanya Caritamrita, in this chapter 17, this like module, this part of the teachings begins with text 34. And in this text, it's explained that Lord Caitanya is chanting and dancing every night in the home of Srivas Thakur for an entire year. So he's getting together and having blissful kirtans all night long with the devotees. Just like when I came here 10 minutes ago, there was a beautiful, exuberant, joyful kirtan going on here. So these are the kind of kirtans and all kinds of kirtans that Lord Caitanya was enjoying in the home of Srivas. And they were doing this every night. But the thing is, whenever you try to do something in this material world, there will always be critics and criticizers and envious persons. Persons, they don't want you to enjoy. They don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to advance, even at their own expense. There's a story that I heard that it's explained that a person was given a benediction that whatever you ask for, I will grant that, and your neighbor will get double. So he was envious of his neighbor. So he's thinking, if I ask for 100 gold coins, then my neighbor will get double, 200. That's not good. I don't want my neighbor to benefit. So he told, I want 1 blind eye. Right? So that his neighbor would get double, 2 blind eyes. So this is the mentality of the envious person. And sorry to say that to some extent, those living entities, including myself, born in this material world, we have this envious tendency. And somehow we need to overcome it. Fortunately, Srila Prabhupada has given us this process, this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the Yuga Dharma. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So by chanting Hare Krishna, this can help us overcome our envious tendency and our other anarthas or unwanted qualities that we wish to become free from so we can advance in spiritual life. So every night the kirtans are going on, Lord Caitanya is chanting and dancing, the devotees are in ecstasy, but some critics are there. And so that the critics don't cause a disturbance to the kirtan, they close all the doors and they lock all the doors of Srivas Thakur's home. And they just have kirtan amongst themselves. and other envious persons are listening outside, and Caitanya Caritamrita explains that they're so envious that they're practically burned to ashes. They're just burning with envy. And they're so envious. And they're just wondering, how can we take revenge on Srivas Thakur? How can we be vindictive upon him? So the leader of these envious personalities is called a Pashandi, or a non-believer. So he's an atheistic person. And the leader of these atheistic personalities, his name was Gopala Chapala. And he was a Brahmana. Interesting how a Brahmana could be envious and atheistic also. Because Krishna explains the qualities of the Brahmana in Bhagavad Gita 18:42. Shamo dhamas tapaksho cham shantir arjavam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma swabhavajam. That the Brahmanas are shamo, they're peaceful; dhamas, they're self-control; tapa, they practice austerities; socham, they're clean; shamo dhamas tapa shocham shantir, they're peaceful; arjavam, they're simple; they're religious; evacha, jnanam, they have knowledge; vijnanam, they have realization; brahma karma swabhavajam, these are the qualities of the Brahmanas. So Gopal Chapala, he doesn't have many of these qualities. So he's a Brahmana in name only, by birth. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 13, that one is not a Brahmana by birth, it's by his qualities and his work. Chatur Varnya Mayashrishtam. Everyone please. Chatur Varnya Mayashrishtam. Guna Karma Vibhaga Shaha. Guna Karma Vibhaga. Tasya Kartaram Apimam. Tasya Kartaram Vidyakartaram Avyayam. Vidyakartaram Avyayam. But Krishna says these 4 varnas and 4 ashrams are created by me according to guna, karma, vibhaga shaha. Guna means quality, karma means work or activities. So it is according to one's work and activities, not just having a 2 paisa brahmana thread, as Srila Prabhupada would say. Not just by your birth or not just by having a thread. It's by qualities and by activities. So Gopal Chapala, he's a Brahmin. He does some pujas and he does some Brahminical things, but he's definitely lacking in some areas, as we'll see. He's very envious. So he's like burning to ashes. He wants to do something. And he's also described as Dur Mukha, which means, mukha means face or mouth, and dur means bad. You know, he's just like, sometimes when people get envious, their face gets very dark and angry looking. So he's described as dur mukha. He's an angry person. And he's also described as vachalaha, which means he's talkative. He likes to talk. He likes to talk bad things about others. And this is also called prajalpa, when you speak badly about others. And this is very dangerous for our bhakti. Rupa Goswami explains in the 2nd verse of the Upadeshamrita the dangers of prajalpa. He says, Atyahara prayayascha, Atyahara prayayascha, prajalpa niyamagraha, Janasangascha lolyam cha, Shad bhaktir vinashati. So these 6 things, the overeating, over-collecting, over-endeavoring, prajalpa, speaking mundane talks, especially the criticism of Vaishnavas, prajalpa niyamagraha, janasangas, associating with worldly-minded people, lolyam, greed. These 6 things are disturbances in our path of bhakti. And here we're seeing that Gopal Chapala is just talking so much trash with his associates about the glories of the Vaishnavas. And I'm saying that sarcastically, because he's also saying that sarcastically. So he hatches a plan. He wants to discredit, he wants to destroy the reputation of Srivas Thakur. Now, a little historical perspective. There's the Vaishnavas and there's the Shaktas. Now, the Shaktas, they worship Goddess Durga, and generally they eat meat and they drink wine, and they're considered low class. So Gopal Chapala had an idea. He hatched a plan. If I show the world that Srivas Thakur is a Shakta, a low-class Shakta, he'll lose all of his prestige, he'll lose his reputation, and we will feel some satisfaction at his suffering. You know, let me lose one eye, he'll lose two eyes. He'll try to cause some suffering to Srivas Thakur. So he did that. He went and he made a puja plate, like we have puja plates. We worship to Srila Prabhupada, we worship to Guru, we worship to the deities. But he made a Shakta puja plate, which is different. It contains a Oda full, which is a red color flower, and vermilion, which is a red powder. I think this the ladies put in their hair, right, to show they're married. Is that correct? Yeah? You know better than me. Not traditional here. Okay, in India we do that sometimes. Here also. Just interesting that if you put the red vermilion in the part of your hair, if the husband puts that in your hair, it's to show that if any other man tries to get you away from him, then that's the blood that's going to be on his head. You know, so it's a mark of protection by the husband originally. Yeah, right. So the vermilion is there on the plate, and turmeric also is there on the plate, and red sandalwood, and rice. And along with that, he put a pot of wine next to that, because Goddess Durga is also worshipped with wine. So all night long, devotees have been doing kirtan, and then Srivas Thakur, sun is coming up, and Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. He comes out, opens the door, and he sees this Durga Puja paraphernalia and a pot of wine, and he reacts. And one might think that, let's say if we opened our ashram door and there was this, incriminating evidence, like what if someone had sent like some, a big package of pornographic VHS, tapes, and put them, Amazon delivered to us, and we don't want our neighbors to see that we got a big shipment of pornography, it'd be very embarrassing. We'd lose our reputation in the community. So we'd be like, what is this doing here? Even we didn't order it, it was a mistake, but we'd probably hide it. We wouldn't want people to see it and talk about it. But Srivas Thakur, he did the opposite. He called everyone in the neighborhood and said, everyone, please come. Now you can see who I really am. You can see what kind of worship I do, that I'm really actually very low class. Please, everyone, come and see, come and see. So he called all the neighbors to come, and they saw. And the neighbors, they know that Srivas Thakur is an exalted devotee, and he would never do something like the worship of Goddess Bhavani or Durga. And they just said, what rascal has done this? Who has done this? And they called a hari, a sweeper, to come and clean it up and clean the place with cow dung and cow urine. And it was cleaned up. And that was that was like the end of it for them. That was the end of it for Srivas Thakur for now. But what happened to Gopal Chapala is that after 3 days, he developed leprosy. And leprosy is a very dangerous, contagious disease, worse than COVID. Oh, yeah, really bad. So it's so bad that you develop these open sores. Your skin opens up. Yeah. And you start bleeding, and then flies start to come on the sores, and then worms start to appear and eat you, and it's so painful, it burns. And all kinds of insects come and start to live in the sores. And it's extremely painful and also extremely contagious. Yuck. Do you remember when during COVID we all used to wear masks? Do you remember that? We used to wear masks, yeah? So that was only because our respiratory system was contagious. But someone with this disease of leprosy, their body is just rotting and the bad smell is coming, and one is contagious from their entire body. You would have to wear a mask over your entire body to try to protect the population. But that wasn't possible. So Gopal Chapala, he left that place and went to a solitary place, because that was what people would do if they caught this disease, leprosy. So he's burning and he's suffering. And then he saw Lord Caitanya, and he said, "Oh, Nimai, we are from the same village. I am like your uncle. Please help me. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please deliver me from my suffering condition." And Lord Caitanya said, "No, I will not help you. You have offended Srivas Thakur, and I want to see you suffer like this for 10 million years. And then he left that place. And we come to this verse today, text 54, in which Lord Caitanya says, it's explained by Krishna Das Kaviraj, Eta Bali Gela Prabhu. So Gela means he went away. Prabhu is Lord Caitanya. Lord Caitanya went away. Where did he go? Harite Ganga Snahana. He went to the Ganga to take his bath. And what else happened? Say papi. Papi means sinful, a sinful person. Pap means sin, and papi is a sinful person. Papi lok. Lok means a person. Papi lok, a sinful person. Say papi dukkha boge. Dukkha means suffering. And boge means to experience or to enjoy suffering. Na yaya parana. And he continued to suffer. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that he says, we have actually seen that a great Vaishnava aparadi is continuously suffering so much that it is difficult for him to move, yet he doesn't die. So it's very, very dangerous to commit Vaishnava aparad. We talked about the 5 kinds of Vaishnava aparad in the beginning of the class. To kill a devotee, to assault a devotee, to shout verbally assaulted on a devotee, to be angry at a devotee, and to not be happy when seeing a devotee. So what did Gopal Chapala do? He actually, it's my understanding, is it's somewhere between the first 2, because he wanted to do character assassination. He wanted to assassinate the character and destroy the reputation of Srivas Thakur. And one very senior sannyasi in our movement told me the only possession that a sannyasi has is their reputation. Because the business of a sannyasi is to share spiritual knowledge. And without a good reputation, it's very difficult to do that. So by destroying someone's reputation, you're practically killing him. Now Srivas Thakur, he wasn't a sannyasi, but he was a great Vaishnava, which is actually beyond the Varnashram principles. And Vaishnavas by nature, they teach others about Krishna. That's the definition of a Vaishnava. He knows about Krishna and he shares knowledge about Krishna with others. So any devotee whose character is assassinated, that is the highest level of Vaishnava aparad. Killing them or assaulting them, assaulting their character. So because of this extreme offense, Gopal Chapala is suffering so much. And Lord Chaitanya is just saying, go on, suffer for 10 million years. Suffering to such an extent that, in Prabhupada's purport, he mentioned he saw someone suffering so much he couldn't even move. And it's interesting because Srila Prabhupada said, I have personally experienced this. So some of us may also have experienced it. I have not personally experienced it, but Srila Prabhupada has shared that he has experienced it. So this Vaishnava aparad is very, very dangerous, and we should be very careful. To end the class on a lighter note, because it's quite a heavy class, I'd like to just share that as we continue in this pastime, in this lila, we will hear how Gopal Chapala is forgiven, seeks the forgiveness of Srivas Thakur, and being the great magnanimous soul that Srivas Thakur is, Srivas Thakur forgives him. And then, because he receives the mercy of the devotee, Srivas Thakur, then he's also delivered from his suffering condition. So, again, all's well that ends well. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to ask if there are any comments or questions or reflections. Yes. Anger, yes.
Thank you. Anger is a natural human emotion, and obviously devotees will not get angry at other devotees for no reason. And often we are told, well, just chant Hare Krishna, and at the same time we're not supposed to, chant Hare Krishna with a specific motive other than for the pleasure of the Lord. So what do we do when we feel angry towards a devotee? Because very often we just hear it's an offense, but please, if you can give us some practical advice of what to do.
Okay, so how to deal with anger in relation to other devotees?
Yes.
So I believe it's in 3 phases. First is prevention. Try to avoid getting angry at devotees. And secondly is if we do get angry at devotees, how to do anger management. And number 3, if we do end up getting angry at devotees and we cause aparad, how to atone and make up and amend for that aparad. Correct? So on these 3 levels I'll try to address in the short time we have. So number 1, anger prevention, preventing anger. We need to strive to become more advanced devotees as possible. It's said that a pure devotee is forgiving someone even as the offense is being made. So if one of the reasons we get angry is someone has insulted us, or we feel that we've been offended. So then if we can avoid taking offense ourselves. That's very helpful. The example is given sometimes of a clay pot and a golden pot. That a clay pot, if you tap it, then it's very easily it's cracked and broken. And it's also very difficult to repair a broken clay pot. But if you have a golden pot and you tap a golden pot, then the golden pot is difficult to break. It'll just maybe bend a little bit. And if you do break a golden pot, it's very easy to repair. So the heart of an advanced devotee is like a golden pot, that even if he or she is offended, then they don't take offense very easily. They just bend a little bit, they don't break. And even if they do get offended, it's very easy for them to forgive and be repaired. So we should strive to become that advanced devotee, that it's very difficult for us to become offended. And then we can become free of anger, which is Krishna's recommendation in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text number 10. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mam upasritaha bhavagyana tapasa putamad bhavamasritaha. Vita raga bhaya krodha. Krodha means anger, becoming free of attachment, fear, and anger. So the whole discussion could go on much further about how we can strive to become more advanced in devotional service so that overcoming our anger. Let's move on to the second platform, which is anger management. So that if we do get angry, try to understand. And you said that we should not chant Hare Krishna with an ulterior motive to achieve some material goal. But even we can chant Hare Krishna with the goal of enhancing our spiritual life. If it's favorable in devotional service, anukul, then we should accept it. And the example is given by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was in Amsterdam in the early 70s, and they were doing deity installation. And everything was going wrong, like the altar was falling, and he said, bring pushpa, bring flowers, and the devotees cooked pushpa rice. You know, they cooked a rice preparation. And Prabhupada was just getting frustrated. And then one new bhakta saw Srila Prabhupada getting frustrated and said, why don't you chant Hare Krishna? And Srila Prabhupada said, okay. You know, and Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So chanting Hare Krishna for anger management is approved by our acharyas. Third platform is once we do offend a devotee, if we do become angry and offend a devotee, what to do, how to make amends and atone for that anger, is we should go to that devotee, if we can, if we have seek that relationship, apologize, beg forgiveness, seek their blessings, seek their mercy, and hopefully they'll forgive us. What if they say, no, I'm not going to forgive you? Then we should just strive to do any service we can for them, knowingly or unknowingly. Like often devotees will sit for prasadam, like is going to happen in about 2 minutes here with the mercy of Krishna. So if everyone's sitting for prasadam, you have a chance to serve prasadam. If that devotee who you offended or we offended is sitting for prasadam, you pick up the bucket and you serve them some prasadam along with the other devotees. Generally, they won't say, no, I won't take prasadam from you. They'll accept it. And by doing little service, that gives us a chance to soften the heart of that devotee, and hopefully they'll forgive us. Another good strategy is like in ISKCON, we often leave the shoes outside hither and thither. Do you have that experience? So if you go outside and you arrange everyone's shoes nicely, then you've done that service for that devotee, also they can't complain. So just try to do some seva for that devotee and do whatever you can to try to get them to forgive you. Because ultimately, Srila Prabhupada said, we have to go back to the spiritual world. And in ISKCON, there's an ISKCON in the spiritual world. So we all have to be together. Does that answer your question? Thank you so much. I'm going to stop now because it's time. Anyone have any other questions, I can meet with them personally. Grantaraj Sri Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I have some Nisinga oil. If I have offended anyone, please accept this gift from me.
Hare Krishna, on behalf of New Govardhana community, we'd like to thank Maharaj for his wonderful class. And for Maharaj's schedule, for the schedule of His Holiness Sri Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj's schedule, you may not have seen, but there's an addition that he's coming to my house to do a home program on Monday night, starting at 4:30, with kirtan and feast and class. So please, everyone is welcome to come. If you don't know the address, please see me and I'll give you the address. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna,